Good morning. I'm going to try and take a few minutes to show you how to access more information about child protection and um, how to report and where you can get further additional information from PowerSchool Learning. So first of all, you need to sign into PowerSchool Learning as I'm doing here. Every member of Saudi Aramco Expatriate Schools is enrolled in a class called Child Protection. So you should be able to go into My Classes and find your child protection somewhere along this list here. I'm going to go ahead and view this. Well, I was going to go view this as make sure I view this as a user as opposed to as a editor. So this is the main site here where it says child protection is everyone's business. There's lots of information here about being above reproach, making sure that you're not in a position to be accused, making sure that you're following protocols, safe protocols, such as leaving your doors open when possible, not being alone with a single-sex child, and making sure that if you are ever alone, that you've notified the person next door and that they're aware of what's happening. We define, there's 4 different areas in which we define child protection around, which is sexual abuse, social emotional abuse, neglect, and physical abuse. More information can be found on this website about this. Your job as an employee of Saudi Aramco Expatriate Schools is that of a mandated reporter. There's a very simple guide here on the screen, this section here, that shows you exactly the process to follow. If you are ever have a question or have an observation that doesn't seem right, document that observation. Pass that forward to either a school counselor or your school health provider, and then they will then in turn pass it on to your principal. If in fact you cannot get a hold of your counselor or school health provider, then you bypass that and go right to the school principal of your site. The school principal then informs the superintendent at the same time while creating and developing a child protection team in order to process and seek a further inquiry into the observations and report that you've made. Meanwhile, the superintendent and principal will be together in trying to ensure that the right action is taken. You have access to our policy if you want to get further interested. If you're further interested in reading all about child protection policy at Saudi Aramco Expatriate Schools, that can be found here. Now, scrolling back to the top, there's this manual here. This is a PDF of the Child Protection Manual that was created in 2019. There's lots and lots of information there about child protection at Saudi Aramco Expatriate Schools. This is your go-to form right here. I'm going to go ahead and open this up. It's a PDF. It's fillable, and you should be able to, let's see here. Here we go. You open it up, and you can fill this out right here. It's not important that you fill everything out. If there's some things that you don't know, a sibling or who else might be involved in the situation, then please just go ahead and leave that blank for now. We can always fill those things in later after consultation with school health provider or school counselor. This gets submitted to forward, as you saw in that pathway, and it gets passed on to the principal, who then creates the child protection team. The second form here is if, for example, there's a second incident with the same child that just doesn't seem right and you want to report it. There's a follow-up form here in which you can click on and fill out to pass forward. Every year you fill out a child protection code of conduct. Hopefully you've done that this year through a Google form that your principal should have sent out to you. You can also see information about the child protection code of conduct here and here as well. And there are some other resources here as well that you can tap into, including the PowerPoint presentation that was conducted 2 years ago, or last year rather, with all staff members. If you have questions, you can always contact me. There are some outside resources here about managing protocol managing and allegations created by Council of International Schools. It's an excellent document. There are also some ideas about how to speak to children that have been gone through some kind of trauma. I hope you found this helpful, and I hope that you are never in a situation where you need to report but the reality is statistically you might be. So thank you for being honest and vulnerable in filling out the form and letting me know that you weren't exactly sure how to do this. If you have any other questions, please make sure you reach out to me and I can help you further. Thank you very much and have a great day.